The third most important nutrient to make you smarter, and it's healthy for your brain.
Welcome to the Restorative Longevity Podcast, where we share how to increase your quality of life while also increasing your longevity. Now let's welcome our host, Jimmy Yen, also known as the Acu Sensei. Jimmy is a licensed acupuncturist, herbalist, nutritionist, and restorative longevity expert dedicated to guiding you on your journey to vibrant health and lasting wellness.
And so today we're going to go over the third most important, right? This is actually, in reality, it's the third most important, but most, I would say the public and also culture, a lot of holistic practitioners, they like to put, they tend to put this third most important nutrient as number one. And you'll kind of understand what I'm saying when I go over it, right? But in alignment with the way that I do these podcasts, the point of this podcast is protein. Protein is important for your brain function. It's important for every cellular function in your body. However, it's not the most important. So don't go crazy. Don't go to the, Thanksgiving's coming around here as I'm doing this podcast, and, people are being hit in the turkey. And turkey does have an amino acid that is crucial for your brain health, but don't go crazy over it, right? It's the misconception. Society puts too much focus on protein as a number one source, number one nutrient for your brain. The number one nutrient for your brain is oxygen. It ain't protein, okay? It's oxygen, right? So just a reminder. But let's come back. Protein, it is beneficial for your brain. It's beneficial for your overall health. And I'm not downplaying that. I'm just saying it's not the most important. Unfortunately, with all these different diets, fad diets like carnivore diet, paleo diet, Atkins diet, they're all animal protein based. And I would say the thing that they use to sell people is to say, oh yeah, hey, every reaction, every structure, function in your body is relying upon amino acids. And so what are amino acids? Well, let me come back to proteins. So proteins are complex molecules, right? They help, they do the work in your cells, and they're required for structure, they're required for function, regulation of the brain's network, right? Now, proteins are complex molecules. They're made up of smaller molecules called amino acids. And that's what most of us are hearing. And this is what a lot of holistic practitioners, it doesn't matter what type of medicine, they're preaching, oh, you need more protein because you need amino acids, which is true to a point, right? Amino acids are crucial. They're essential to every function that takes place in your body and your brain, amino acids. And protein, you eat protein, they're broken down to amino acids, right? So I'm not saying it's not important, but it ain't the most important. And this is the reason why when people go on the carnivore diet, they go on the caveman diet, the Atkins diet, they initially start seeing some great benefits. They see better energy, they see better skin, they better sleep. They see all of those initial symptoms improve, okay, until they stop, right? And actually it goes through, when you go to a carnivore diet, you start to feel great. Not everybody, but the ones that are hardcore, animal protein diet, they start to feel great. And so they share it to the whole world. And what happens is eventually they start to feel worse. I mean, the greatness declines. So they don't feel as great. They go back. So maybe they start right here. This is their status quo. This is where their starting point. And then a feeling, right? And then they do the animal protein diet and they feel better, right? And then it slowly, as they keep on doing it, it comes back to where they started before. And if they continue to do the carnivore diet or the paleo diet or the Atkins diet, animal-based protein diet, then eventually they actually go lower than what they felt before, right? They start getting arthritis, they start getting, chronic joint pain, they start getting cardiovascular disease and all. This is over a year, sometimes it's over years, right? If you eat a lot of animal protein, it could happen in a couple of months, right? But let's come back to the topic, proteins. Your brain needs protein to function, right? Because it is breaking down. It's not the protein you need, it's the amino acids it's broken down to. You need amino acids because they are in charge of every function They're essential to every function, right? They maintain your healthy tissue, assembling hormones, empowering all sorts of chemical reactions, right? So an example of amino acids are, especially for the brain, because we all want to get smarter, is neurotransmitters, right? Some amino acids act as neurotransmitters. And what are neurotransmitters? They're chemical messengers that help two nerve cells called neurons communicate with each other, right? So neurotransmitters, they actually can affect how you think, how you talk, how you dream, how you remember, your memory. They can also spur impulses to wake you up and also make you lazy. They can make you sleepy. They can keep you focused. These are amino acids acting as neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters are just the messenger, okay? So you need adequate amounts of amino acids. So don't get me wrong, you need adequate amounts for your brain to function and your whole body to function, right? Now, here's why I'm saying protein. This is the reason why protein is not the number one nutrient, because God made our body perfectly. So God made our brain have the ability to produce some of the amino acids. So yeah, you're going to get similar to fats. There's non-essential and there's essential. So there are non-essential amino acids and essential amino acids. Non-essential are the ones that the brain actually in the body produces. You don't need them because your brain produces them, right? So even though your overall health needs amino acids, in order to be healthy overall, you need amino acids, but your brain doesn't need all of them, right? So essential versus non-essential amino acids. An example of an essential amino acid, these are the ones your brain does not produce. It gets it from the diet. Is found in, this is what I'm talking about, Thanksgiving, turkey. It's called tryptophan. Now, if you're in the supplements, any of the, functional medicine practitioners, chiropractors especially, naturopaths, homeopaths, even some acupuncturists, they'll give you a tryptophan supplement, right? You can get tryptophan just by eating turkey, right? Now, what does tryptophan do? It helps you sleep. So those of you who have, and if you ever noticed this, after your Thanksgiving dinner, you feel super sleepy, right? Now, even if you didn't eat the mashed potatoes, the gravy, all the pumpkin pie, you didn't eat any of those, horrible things for you, right? But tastes great. I know, I'm a foodie. But even if you didn't eat any of those and you just ate turkey and green beans, you will probably still feel sleepy afterwards, because in turkey, there's the amino acid tryptophan. Tryptophan helps you sleep better, facilitate your sleep, right? And these essential amino acids, they will enter your brain super fast, because your brain has created a secret passageway through the blood-brain barrier. It's like a secret pathway, passage, because your brain doesn't make these amino acids. So it wants it every time you eat. It wants some of it, right? Now, non-essential, the brain is not going to have those pathways. It's going to prevent them from coming in your brain. An example is asparagine. I'm probably saying that wrong, so forgive me. Asparagine is found in asparagus. So maybe you are eating turkey and asparagus. Well, the turkey amino acid is going to go to your brain super fast, make you sleepy, and the asparagus amino acid ain't going to get to your brain that fast, right? A lot of times it's restricted, right? So other food sources of amino acids. What are the best sources of amino acids? This is true. A lot of the people that give you supplements, that prescribe supplements, they will tell you animal protein. Animal protein is one of the most well-balanced amino acids. They contain all of them, right? What are examples? Chicken, pork, beef, turkey, eggs, milk, right? And fish. Fish is complete in amino acids, right? If you've listened to some of my previous podcasts, you'll see that fish is actually the superior animal protein. If you want to eat animal protein, focus more on fish. It has more benefits than more pros and cons. When you get to pork, chicken, beef, you have equal amount of pros and cons. So they kind of neutralize themselves out, right? You can also get complete amino acids from plants like legumes, grains, soybeans, some nuts and seeds. Okay. So we'll dive into deeper in a later podcast of exactly what to eat and how much to eat, right? I just want to give you an overview of how protein is important for your brain function, not just your rest of your body. Okay, so the brain communicates through neurons. They're brain cells. They're called neurons, right? And they don't actually touch each other, right? The neurons don't actually touch each other. They actually come like this. It's like it's called a synapse. This gap right here is called a synapse. So they just come like this, very close to each other, and they send neurotransmitters, which are amino acids, which are signals, the messengers, right? So there's a messenger from this synapse, from this neuron, this nerve cell, and it travels, it floats to this, and that's how they communicate, right? So they don't actually touch each other, right? And so this is how, transmitting information throughout the brain to form ideas. This is how memories and feelings are made, right? So the brain, if you can imagine, is your conductor of your orchestra, of your central nervous system. It is conductor. The brain contains 80 billion brain cells. 80 billion with a B, billion neurons. And neurons are unique because they can talk to each other regardless of where they are, regardless of the distance, right? And so each neuron, so each nerve cell, right, has about 1,000 to 10,000 synapses like this. 1,000 to 10,000. So they're talking to many people at the same time, right? So our whole body has 100 trillion connections overall. So every electrical impulse. So if you didn't know, our bodies communicate through electricity, right? Every electrical impulse it goes through many synapses, right? This is called neurotransmission, and it's carried out by these neurotransmitters. Remember, chemical messengers, right? So that's why there's a constant flow of neurotransmitters. This is what allows us to give birth to our thoughts, our memories, our words. A good night's sleep sets the stage for healthy mental functioning, right? Let me give you some examples of some amino acids. Neurotransmitters. Serotonin, we probably heard of that, right? People who are depressed, there's all these medications. Serotonin reuptake inhibitor, right? You've heard of those, SSRI. What does serotonin do? Serotonin is a messenger, chemical messenger. It influences your emotional stability, your sleep pattern, your memory, and your appetite. So you're emotional. That's why if you are low in serotonin, you will feel depressed. That's why the SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, prevent your body from reabsorbing those serotonin. So let me just go back to, so you have, these two neurons. So a messenger, so imagine this is a messenger, right? A messenger travels from here and it goes to here, right? So once it tells, so I'm like, hey, I have a message for you, Mr. Hand. Here's my message. Okay. Mr. Hand takes the message. Okay. Once he reads the message, then this neurotransmitter gets absorbed. It goes away. Right? So that's what happens. Now with those SSRI, so if a serotonin is a message, sends a message and say, hey, be happy, right? Right? But if there's not enough serotonin, then this neuron is not going to know to be happy. And so what's going to happen is that's why psychiatrists will give you SSRI, and that prevents this. So this is like, hey, sends a message. Okay. This person receives a message, but it releases it again. It doesn't get absorbed. The message doesn't get absorbed and disappear. It keeps the message out here floating. So that's serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It inhibits this uptake, right? And that's why you have more serotonin flowing in between, right? In hopes to get you out of that depression. And that's a whole nother story, okay? These don't really fix anything. This SSRIs don't fix your depression. And you can just ask someone who's taking it, can they ever get off of it? And when they try to get off of it, what happens, right? Once you start it, you're pretty much stuck on it for life, unless you restore function to your body. Whole nother podcast, right? Let's come back. Serotonin, neurotransmitter that helps you be happy, right? Emotional stability helps you with your sleep patterns, your memory, your appetite. Then you've also probably heard of dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for reward motivated behavior, right? You win something, you get super high, dopamine's flooding your system, right? When you run, dopamine fledges. That's why you feel so good after you run or you exercise, right? It also controls your movement control, therefore exercise, and your cravings, right? So you want more dopamine if you are just, man, like, I don't want to do anything, I'm a slug, right? You want more dopamine, right? Then there's another one, neurotransmitter, glutamate. It provokes you to spring into action. It wakes you up, gets you up and going. It's like, hey, let's go, let's do that. You need more glutamate. The opposite of glutamate is GABA. We've probably heard of that. GABA is like the sedating, right? It's the alter ego of glutamate. It inhibits you from acting at all. It makes you like a slug. And so, practitioners will try to, they'll give you these supplements to stimulate serotonin production, dopamine production, the glutamate, GABA, right? And we have some, and I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth that no one's going to tell you, right? That's the purpose of this podcast. It's not to be for restorative longevity, which is the goal, which is the focus of this podcast. Restorative longevity is not for you to be dependent upon a pill. And even though a pill may help you initially, but at least in our clinic, achieve integrative health, the #1 rated acupuncture clinic in the entire US, our goal is not to make you dependent on another pill. Just because it's not medication doesn't mean it's good for you, right? So and we do this, again, I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm saying we also help people. Sometimes you need that initial help, and we'll help people get some GABA, right? Some glutamate, some serotonin, dopamine. But after that just helps them feel better initially, but it doesn't fix a problem. When you take a supplement that helps your serotonin, dopamine, glutamate, GABA, it is no different from medication. It does not fix your problem, because once you stop taking that supplement, guess what? All your symptoms come back. You start feeling crappy again. So what we do in our clinic is we may use those supplements initially. Why? So that you can get some good night's sleep. You can get some energy. You can start feeling better, right? Because when you feel better, you make better decisions. So during the time when you're taking the supplements, what we do is we help you along the side with lifestyle modifications, dietary modifications, nutritional herbs that are food. Herbs are not like supplements. They're foods. Chinese herbs are like food. They help you restore function. So when they restore the function, then you won't need these supplements anymore, right? Our goal is not to have any of our patients take supplements for the rest of their lives, right? That's not the goal. So that is, just an overview of amino acids. Now, you're probably wondering, where can I get more of these amino acids? These neurotransmitters, right? Since neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers, how do I get more of them, right? So what depletes them, right? What depletes, what eliminates? Why are the people who have depression low in serotonin? What depletes their serotonin? If you're hoping for some type of magic pill, there ain't. There ain't no magic pill. There is never a pill that will restore your health. This is a statement in general. Doesn't matter if it's natural. There is no pill that will restore your health. It is the daily habits you do, and this is proven by the blue zones. People who live over 100 and have a better quality of life than people who are 50 years old in the US. They have proven they don't take any pills. They don't take any supplements. It's your daily habits. So coming back, what depletes your neurotransmitters? Your diet, right? Your diet. It's just that simple answer. So, and I know this is hard, guys. I'm a foodie. I love eating. But your diet makes you smarter or dumber. Period. You have to make a choice. I know you like hanging out with your friends, having a beer, having a glass of wine, have some whiskey, have some barbecue, right? Thanksgiving turkey dinner. I know you want all that. Once a year, it's okay. But if you do that on a daily basis, you are making yourself dumber, not anybody else. The cause of your neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers between your nerve cells, the reason why you don't have enough or they're getting depleted is because of what you eat. This is what, one of the things my dad, grew up always telling me, you are what you eat. Absolutely. I mean, some people changed it to you are what you absorb. True, right? Whatever you want to go with. But your diet absolutely determines your ability to generate neurotransmitters, right? And see, here's another thing. Neurotransmitters, they're the communication. If you don't have communication with your family, your friends, do you think you're going to have good relationships? That's the same with your body. That's the same for your cells, okay? So I'm going to leave you with that to ponder, but I want to let you know, if you have a neurotransmitter problem, you have an energy problem, you have fatigue, insomnia, you have depression, anxiety, you have, what else? Weight gain, you have obesity, type 2 diabetes. It's 100% your diet. They are affecting your neurotransmitters. That's why your cells can't communicate. No pill is going to reverse that. Could it help? Yes. But you will be on that pill for the rest of your life, and you'll have to take more and more and more as you get older. But no pill can reverse it. So it's a decision. It's a hard decision I have to make every single day because I love eating. So I feel you for those who are foodies out there. But we all have to make a decision. Do we want to develop Alzheimer's when we hit 70s? Or do we want to be able to be just as bright when we hit 70s? When we hit our 60s and 70s, we're just as smart, just as intelligent, with the same amount of energy. I'm going to leave that up to you. Until the next time, peace.
This episode is sponsored by Achieve Integrative Health, the #1 acupuncture clinic in the US. We're grateful for their support in helping us bring you the Restorative Longevity Podcast.